What's up, y'all? Back at it with another one. Um, I'm not gonna do much right now because I am like really tired lately, and I've been kind of sleep deprived this week. I've been getting like one too many 6 hour sleep days in a row. I mean, sure, I slept in because it was like a extra weekend day off or whatever, but it was like 12 in the morning because like I went on a walk really late into the afternoon. Not afternoon, evening. It was really late into the evening, and I kind of like messed up that sleep schedule or whatever. Um, I mean, so far things haven't been too bad. They're like decent. Sorry if I seem a little incoherent at times. It's because like probably the sleep deprivation and stuff. It's kind of messing with me at the moment. Not like I'm mad about it. I mean, kind of upset about it, but like it's mostly my cognition being affected or whatever. So I might be a bit slower today. And that's also why I'm playing this game right now, because like, you know, lower stress, like less to. Cause I don't know, like if I played a higher stress game, I don't know if I could like do this talking while playing the game at the same time at the moment. I don't know if that would be possible right now. hmm. Trying to think of what to talk about here, but it's kind of hard to think of something. Um, hmm. What else? I mean, I guess I could talk about some stuff, but like I'm gonna keep it vague for the sake of like uh privacy or whatever. Lately, I've been like talking to a friend I haven't really spoken with that much. I mean, we know each other a lot, but you know, it's, the amount of talking has like kind of gone down a bit because like our own lives and stuff. But kind of been catching up lately. It's pretty nice. Now, what I'm gonna talk about next related to that, I'm not gonna wait. Let me think what to articulate because like I might mess up my words a bit right here. Um, See, when I say this, I'm not trying to like say like a woe is me, life sucks, win. I'm not trying to come off like that, I'm just I'm just trying to be like matter of fact and like this is what's been happening over time. Anyway, it's kind of been nice talking to them or whatever because like, you know, haven't really. How do I say this? It's related to social isolation. I'll tell you that it's social isolation that I've been going through for like years on end. Um, yeah, as I was gonna say, you know, pretty much at the moment, the best friend that, because like I've known him for a while, 6 years roughly. And sure, we don't live anywhere near each. It's basically an online friend, but still, we're basically best friends and basically known each other for like 6 years, roughly. But yeah. Um, and right now, they've been like the only person in my life that I've really been able to consistently talk to at all, like at home, pretty much, or like a friend kind, uh, like all in that social isolation stuff. That's how it's been. Like, see, now that I think about it, there's like other stuff I would have to talk about to like give context to it, but at the same time, I don't really want to either. Trying to think of what I could worry with, but at the same time, I probably don't want to do all that. Okay, never scratch it. Never mind. But some things happened, like a year or two ago. Got more lonely after that. No, I'm not. Nothing related to like a. See, I'm trying to think of a way to describe it, but I don't want to give too many details on it because I don't feel like it right now. But yeah, don't worry, nothing like bad happened to me, right? I'm all good. There was no like big dramatic event that was gonna like put me in life danger or anything. None of that ever happened, right? I'm all good. It was more like emotional turmoil, I guess. I don't know, like it was more emotional than anything, but a year or two ago something happened. After that, I've been really, really isolated. Pretty much had nobody to really talk to that much. I've mostly been by myself. What else? What else? Man, it's kind of hard to think of things to say right now. Like, that's how sleep deprived I am right now. What if I just... I don't know about that. What the heck? I guess I could talk about my walks or whatever. They've been pretty good. On average, I go for like an hour, more or less. Like, all I bring is like, a jacket, beanie, and a phone. That's all I bring. No water, no food. I don't do all that. It's a bunch of work. So I just stick with like some clothes I could wear over if it gets cold, or have some kind of zip up pocket so like my phone is safe. But yeah, that's literally all I bring to my walk. Nothing else. I mean, yeah, the walks have been pretty good, though. They're usually chill. There's also, like, some people, like, and the crazy thing is, right, I'm not trying to, like, bash on anybody when I say this, but it's, like, more, like, indirectly bashing on people's lifestyles. Because I get it, you might be busy, or you might raise kids, you might be going through some stuff, right? And you don't really have time to get out. Or maybe you have, like, something you're running. Or something, whatever. It's really occupying you. You don't even have much time at all for a walk, right? I understand stuff like that can happen. Anyways, what I'm about to say is, when I've been, like, going on these walks, the only times I see, like, people walking outside, or like what they look like, they're usually like one or two adults or whatever. It's usually like some adult either like with a pet or with a stroller with a kid in it. or maybe on the rare occasion, which happened yesterday, this rare occasion, there was like a family of like probably 8 on the sidewalk. They were all walking together, so which was like the largest group I've ever seen walk outside before, like in my area. But yeah, it's like insanely rare. Like, see, most of the people I've ever spoken with outside is like in my area at least, like when I've gone on these walks, I've mostly seen grown people. I rarely see like someone my age, like anyone who looks my age even, but yeah. Because most of the time it's either like some grown person walking their dog or having their kid in a stroller. It's either or maybe it's some adult with their little kid around. It's like usually those 3 things, and that's like the most common kind I see out there. Maybe. No, that's too big. Oh. Wait. Maybe I should distance. Yeah. There we go. I don't know. That's alright, I guess. Yeah. Because one time yesterday, there was like, I know for sure one of them was like a college student who just came over from another area. Don't know if like the 2 other friends with him were his age, but they probably were, I assume, because they were calling themselves like unks or whatever. But they're like probably in their early 20s, if I had to guess. Yeah, I mean, like, it's kind of hard to think of what to talk about, though. I'm kind of like, oh, there's just a battery thing right there. Don't mind that. It's kind of hard to think of what to even talk about. Like, I'm just really tired lately. I guess I can mention that, like, I have some homework to do. Like, I have like 1 assignment in 1 class, 1 in another, and one. Okay, so basically, like, 3 assignments from 3 different classes, varying levels of work to do. That's what I have as homework right now. Lucky for me, I have like a 4-day weekend, or like we all do, right? Some kind of Memorial Day, and there was gonna be a weather makeup day, but nothing like that happened. So we get to have a 4-day weekend, which is probably what I need right now. Oh yeah, and also, I on my walk, I just decided to like try out the trail because I've never. Let me try to describe this. It's like near some power lines or whatever. It's like a big field, but I don't usually walk there because usually I like to keep my walks in like an hour limit, and I usually go around the neighborhood. But like when I'm like in that trail area, I don't usually go on the trail because it'll probably take me a longer time. Like, it'll get me home later. No, that's not the right word. What I'm trying to say is that trail, I feel like it would be long enough to where if I go back and I go home, I'm probably gonna be there later, or I'm gonna see streetlights, which did happen. Because I mean, the walk I went on was late yesterday, but still, I came home to streetlights. Like, walking home and there was street lights on and everything. So yeah. What should I talk about here? Oh, and also, before I talk about anything else that I think of, I'm just gonna say I don't know how long this video is. It's kind of hard to keep track of time right now, so I don't know whether this is gonna be like a 30-minute video, a 12, 20-minute. I don't know. I'll just have to see when I upload it. And I don't really feel like editing it either. I'm just gonna have it be like a kind of an unfiltered. I mean, technically I'm filtering it because I'm not pulling out too much details here, but still, no editing involved. None of that. I'm like really drained right now, so I'm not gonna focus on that today. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep that black and white so it's easier to like differentiate the legs. Wait, no, I can do a better shirt than that. Let me zoom in though, that's gonna give better detail. I like to draw this on my assignments at school. It's one of my favorites. I usually do it in the math, I'm pretty sure, but any paper, really. Make it like that. That makes more sense. It's usually like that, though. And maybe if I'm extra bold, I'll do this. Or it's kind of like... Maybe it's like 6-7 makeup almost. Like where... You know how there's like face painters? Yeah, we'll make that for 6-7 where they put it over your eyes. I actually don't know if that exists, though. Somebody would have to see, but I'm sure somebody out there has probably done it. I just don't know. I'm gonna make it like that. I feel like that's appropriate. Just pretend like, it's all filled in. Stuff like that. Pretend like this is the rest of it colored in black and stuff. And that it's part of black colored shirt. These are black pants too, but don't really feel like doing all that right now. Wait, why does it kind of look grayish? Am I okay? Maybe it's it's probably render distance. That's why. Gosh. Okay. You know what? Maybe I should include, like, pretend the circle's, like, over me, but probably this part of my avatar. I should probably include that sometime, but I'm not going to do all that right now, but it's probably something I'll consider. Not too sure what I should talk about here. Wait. Is something wrong with my animation? Okay, wait. Oh, never mind. Nothing's wrong with my animation. It's just that I'm tripping like crazy. Whoa. See, I'm trying to check like what this thing looks like, but with like the animations and stuff. Because I feel like that's... You know what? I'm going to cut this video really fast and see if, like, you know, something's wrong with the PNG thing here. I'll be back. Anyway, at this point, because, like, my thing died while I was mid-drawing. Actually, yeah, it died mid-drawing at one point. Then I redrew it, but my battery's pretty low, so I decided to save it. So, I'm just gonna explain some of these. So, I'm gonna go into more about, like, how my walking goes and stuff, or, like, how I feel about it sometimes. What I want to, you know, talk about is, like, how liminal it feels to, like, walk, and there's, like, people who, like, aren't really in your age group. Now, I'm not saying that's, like, crazy or anything. I mean, there's plenty of, like, adults who walk with their dog, kid, or whatever. But it's, like, very rare that I, like, see people my age. I think I've only seen, like, 3-ish people my age ever when I was, like, taking daily walks for, like, 2 weeks in a row. And I took one today, and I saw, like, one teen, probably. Or maybe they weren't, but I don't know. They looked like around my age, but... Like, the other time was, like, 2 Mormon missionaries I saw one time going door to door. They were chill, though. But it was, like, them and only a few couple of other people I've ever seen throughout my walks looked around my age. The rest of them, the rest of the people that I saw walking sometimes, they're, like, very often grown adults, usually. Which is pretty crazy. It almost feels like liminal, because it's usually like I'm the only young kid or whatever walking around, like, outside. It's kind of like the liminality of, like, an empty classroom almost. I mean, I get, like, you know, a lot of them are probably busy with homework stuff, and they have to, like, stay inside to do all that, or, like, other responsibilities, maybe chores even. But, like, whenever I'm walking outside, though, it's just so weird to be, like, the only teen walking outside most times. I mean, maybe it's because I go out, like, way in the evening, but still, though, it's kind of, like, uncanny that way. What else? Oh, yeah. Now I'm gonna, like, talk about sort of what I've been mentally going through over the years. This is more, like, recent, but I'd say... Hold on, let me make that smaller. These specific parts, these are, like, grade levels and stuff that I've, like, had. I'm currently in, like, my junior year. Probably mentioned that. I'm not writing all that out. So, I'm just gonna, like, talk about how my, generally how I've been over the years. Or, like, how I've changed. Semester 1. Semester 2. There we go. Now, before I go into all this, I'm just going to get some important context out of the way. Generally, in all these years, I mean, probably less in the earlier part, but in the rest of them, I've had a lot more social isolation. I mean, it's something I've gone through before. I've also had social isolation. Social isolation. I've had it before this time, you know. It's not like a foreign thing to me, but, you know, it's been something that's happened for a long time. Like, I don't really have anybody I talk to in my home, so, yeah, it gets a bit lonely sometimes. Yeah, so in around this time, in the very beginning of this one, I had someone I knew, right? like someone I was with a lot. However, in the in this part, like I think the summer before my freshman year started. That might be inaccurate. I think what happened was I met them in 8th grade. Then at the very end of my freshman year, that's when separated. So at this point I'm all by myself, right? At this point I don't have anybody else that I really talk to at home on like a deep level compared to who I was with. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but that's generally what happened. And there's also like a best friend I have, like an online best friend. Like they live across the country, but still, I met them before I entered here and stuff. And so far, I've known them for like 6 years. But for the most part, it's been occasional. So it's like, maybe like several months go by, and we briefly chat a bit, or like we like catch up on stuff, and then we just kind of go silent for a while. That's usually how it's gone. But we have been talking a lot more, like within this time frame. But for the rest of it, we didn't really talk all that much. Anyway, I'm gonna get into like how I've changed over time, like how I've been affected. So grades, right? At this time, and like within these 2 years, like this time span, grades were like a big priority. I'm talking like if I saw a B in a class, I would be worried, right? It was at that level. There's also some anxiety with that too. Maybe not some, more like a good amount, But at the same time, in that time frame, though, I had somebody, So I wasn't as lonely. There was somebody I talked to a lot in that time period. And another thing, I had high masking, right? So what I would very often do is I'd try to wear really plain clothes, like single color, really basic clothes that anybody could put on. Stuff like one color, safe to wear, no images at all. So like even words, like words or images on a shirt, I would not wear them at school. Sure, I had some at home, but they would only be worn at home. Oh yeah, in terms of like my own personality at this time, I was like a lot calmer. So I was calm. I guess more disciplined in this time, Definitely had more exercise and generally had my life together, And I was more stable as a person. But after all that, sophomore year comes around. And at this point, of course, grades are still like, something I want to keep up. But the anxiety of it isn't like, it's not as high as it was. So it's like, it's almost moderate compared to like these two time periods. There's like less priority over grades. Of course, I try to keep up in my classes, and I did a good job at that, but it wasn't the end of the world if I saw a B on something or whatever. And through all that, I did have a 4.0 throughout these 3 years. However, I was a lot more lonely at this time. So at this point, that person I knew is like long gone, you know? I mean, they're alive, but we don't speak anymore. So at this point, pretty much all by myself, right? I don't really have a person I talk to a lot. I'm mostly by myself. And however, another thing I experience is like moderate masking. What this means is like I would still how do I say this? I would mostly I still mostly wear these clothes, but I wasn't as hell bent on only wearing them. Sometimes I would wear like, the occasional joke shirt with like some meme image on it or whatever. Like it could probably look like that. One of these. Trying to draw it real quick. Yeah, like stuff like this. I would wear more of these, right? They weren't my entire. I would still mostly have plain shirts, right? That's most of that's most of the clothes that I have, but I would still be lenient on wearing one of these at school. Wasn't. It was something that I would do. Sometimes I would wear one of these at school, and I'd be okay with it. But yeah, basically like not as much effort into filter myself. Now, of course, I wasn't outrageous or anything. I was pretty chill, but I wouldn't be as hell bent on, hiding everything about myself and stuff like that. At this time, though, I was now, of course, I had stress in the last year because about my grades. But other than that, I had a pretty good time. But here, I'm more stressed. There's less discipline. I mean, I still have a bunch, Like at this time, I still kept up really well with my classes. And I had like a PE class that provided my workouts still. So I was pretty okay with my discipline. It's just that it's not as much as it was the other year. And I'm a bit more volatile at this time, or like emotionally volatile. Like generally unstable. I could still keep up with school. The worst case is that I would have an assignment a week late, but it wouldn't go anywhere crazy or anything. I would still, keep up with my stuff. It's just that me as a person was like a bit more stressed than usual. Like basically it was slowly turning into the opposite direction of what it once was. Oh, and in first semester, now in terms of grades, right? This was where, how do I say this? It's not necessarily senioritis, right? I would do my work in classes and I would do my best to keep up. But in terms of like how much I care about them, it's basically diminished right here. It's basically all gone from all the prior years. Oh yeah, and this anxiety part, this is in particular about like grade anxiety. Of course, I still had anxiety in all sorts of points, but specifically grade anxiety, that's pretty much had a downward trend over the years. So it's basically that. And oh man. Okay. Well, here I was like super lonely, right? Super, super lonely. Like there was like absolutely, how do I say this? It's like when I had that point of deep connection or whatever with like a specific person, that's been gone for a while, and it's been like slowly affecting me over time. It wasn't all out as soon as that happened at the time of, but as like time went on, it was taking a toll on me over time, which was in the form of, now of course, like these thoughts of like what had happened or what I lost or whatever, they would pop up a lot more. Now, I don't mean like every day of the week, but more than rarely at this time. Because thoughts of this event or whatever, like what I lost, that still existed last year from this time period. Like in sophomore year, I still had these, how do I say this? Kind of like flashbacks almost, or like stuff of that nature, really. And that peaked at like this first semester that I had. It was pretty crazy. Now, in general, most of these consisted of being triggered by seeing someone who looks similar to this person I knew. It could be like in a hallway and stuff. So, yeah. But at this point, though, I had low masking. Meaning, now of course, I still mostly had plain shirts, I still have them to this day. And stuff like that. And I have this same amount of like joke shirts. I didn't really buy many new ones. But the ones I still have, though, how do I say this? Let me think. But yeah, I would be more willing to wear some of these for more days at a time. And, I wouldn't put in as much effort towards trying to suppress myself a bunch. Like, now, obviously, I didn't say every thought that came to mind. I didn't do it like that. But, if I was having, like, a bad day, I wouldn't do all of that work to hide it in my expression. It would be present, right? I wasn't going to do all the work to cover it up. That was mostly what that was. Now, in terms of stress, I'd say it's probably a bit more. Yeah, I think it's more stress because, like, there was a class that I was failing. It was product design. Certain parts of it were really difficult for me to comprehend, and it resulted in months of worth of missing assignments from that class. It was really overwhelming. And even when I put in work on it, it took me a long time, and it was having an effect on my other grades. So I had to focus less on that class and try to keep up with the other classes. And that ended up causing that class to fail, really. So it was kind of almost destined to be that way, really. I mean, it was a difficult subject. And plus, there's like 8 throughout freshman to now. I'm in like a high school with like 8 class periods, 4 in alternating days. So that meant that one class was failing. I had to keep up with 7. So I kind of had no choice but to ditch that one class that was dragging me down. And even when I put work into it, it would take a long time to get like a single step into it. So, yeah. This time, I have like the least discipline yeah. I don't know why I'm having a hard time spelling that. But yeah, or should I say like lowest discipline that I've ever had so far, right? At this point, it's a lot harder to keep up with school. And how do I say this? It's like I have a higher tendency in this time period to like kind of escape almost. Escapism kind of stuff. Yeah, that's basically what it was. And at this time, I am very volatile. And I also had some self-hatred at this time. So like, it's probably the worst amount that I've ever had in my life so far. Like, as of this second semester that I'm in right now. This self-hatred from the last semester, it was genuinely insane. Almost to a level of... don't know how to word it, but I'm sure you get the point. Now my grade priorities, they're basically the same as last semester. Nothing too different about that. This time, though, I'm less lonely. I mean, I was kind of lonely in the first half of this semester, but over time, I feel less lonely. One of the big reasons is that, that best friend I mentioned earlier, I'm in a lot more contact with them lately, and I've been talking with them more, so that's... And they're pretty much the only they're basically my best friend, right? They're the only deep connection that I have right now. There's that, and what else? You know what? I think I'll stop at that point. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Oh, and also meds, right? Or like therapy and basically that. And some appointments or whatever. I've had some of those. That's probably helped it out a bit. But yeah, I think throughout maybe at some point in sophomore year and beyond in this time frame, I had like depression and stuff alongside anxiety. The anxiety was like going down over time, probably because I got used to all the stress I had. So it's kind of like I got desensitized to it almost. Yeah, basically desensitized to a lot of the stress I've been having. kind of the same as before, right? Low masking, still same sort of thing, you know? Stress. It's kind of hard to remember the first part, but still stress there. I mean, it was way better than the first semester, but I think it might have been equivalent to this, maybe? Maybe the sophomore year equivalent to stress? I don't know. But definitely less stress from the first semester. And I also got more discipline. Wait. I keep forgetting how to spell discipline. I don't know why, but I don't know. Yeah, so at this point, I mean, it's not the best I've ever had in terms of discipline, you know. It was way better here, but it's better than the first semester or even sophomore year almost. Mostly first semester though. Especially right now, right? I've been taking walks over these 2 weeks and I've been keeping up with school a lot better than I have in a while. And it's probably the best I've ever kept up with because I've had days off of homework, right? Like days of no homework where I could just take a break. Like literally. And I mean like at home, right? I would have a lot done to the point where there's absolutely no homework left. And I get to take a break from all that, basically. Which is awesome. I think I'm kind of volatile. I mean, the first half of this second semester, I was volatile a little bit. But over time, it's kind of had a, I don't want to say like that kind of downward, but kind of downward like that. Slowly going down in volatility or whatever. I mean, at the same time, though, I do have, like, clarity problems. You know? Where it's kind of hard to mentally process over time, which is, you're seeing me go through right now. Like, in this video, it's taking me longer to form my thoughts. And that's kind of a prevalent thing throughout a good amount of my videos, is slow processing. And no, the craziest thing of all, this doesn't exist at this point. Now I have the total opposite of this. Now I have now I know this may sound like a bit how do I say, cliche? Is that what they call it? I don't know, but I have more of this now. There's basically no self-hatred at this point. It's all gone. And anything associated with it. I now have more self-love and confidence and stuff. And I'm very confident in myself as a person. Much more than I probably have been ever. Like, it's crazy. Because, I mean, sure, I was a bit confident in these periods of time, like the earlier years. But still, I had the need to hide myself and stuff. But right now, you know, it's improved quite a bit, actually. What else do I have to say about this? Is there? Oh, another important thing to mention is less escapism. So that basically means compared to sophomore and first semester junior year, I've had less time on gaming and stuff like that. Like stuff like gaming, the kind of stuff where you go on your screen for hours at a time to kind of escape from yourself. I have way less of that happening to me. Like I'm doing way less of that compared to earlier, which is pretty good. And I think that's all I have for that, really. Thank you for watching, if you made it all the way here. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!